Apache's baby, little fat girl, is growing like crazy. Well, you look at the belly on that little girl, she's almost square. She is, it's not Fat Boy's fawn, but it certainly could be because she is definitely a replica of him, except she's not going to have any antlers. But look, she's a square little rascal. She goes downs a bottle of milk like immediately when Apache shows up 3 times a day. And not only that, but she eats grass. She just cookies. You take cookies out there to her, and she just gobbles them right up in your hand, chews them up just as fast as she can. Almost impossible to fill up. And she is a beauty. But the real deal this evening, as we start this week's video, is in the prayer circle. Whoops, where'd they go? Oh, there they are. In the prayer circle, there was about 10 deer. I don't know how many's out there now. Still several. Not as many as was out there, though. But there was about 10 deer in that prayer circle. And maybe one might have gone on over to the feeder. Yeah, it looks like there's a deer or 2 over at the feeder also. And it looks like that's pretty much all. Here comes, well, it's a turkey coming up. Another turkey coming up. And turkey's coming running out there. I guess the feeder went off. And so it removed all of the deer in the prayer circle. They were just thick in that prayer circle. Uh-oh, got a little rutting action going on. A little chasing there. A little buck's after a doe. That is Red Tag's baby. And Red Tag has got love on his mind. But she's not ready. So I dropped her off early. Oh, look at all the turkeys showed up. While I was pointing the camera the other direction. A lot of turkeys showed up. Great week to start, great evening to start out another week. We start in the mornings a lot, but we'll start in the evening because just a lot of animals out there. I think I'll go back and take a real quick look in the back window, see what I can see out there. Well, bull corn. We had 2 jakes fighting there. 2, I mean, they were getting it on. Round and round and round, just fighting like crazy. And then a bunch of other jakes come running. I got them running through the woods. I was pointing my camera at them, but I didn't have the camera turned on. That's a bunch of jakes. And those jakes start fighting, they make a lot of noise. And what happened, those jakes fighting, it called a bunch of other jakes in. They come running from out in the woods. And they got running that guy off. Gonna do some more fighting, maybe. Oh, my goodness. He done whooped his fanny. He is definitely on the run. Lots going on out there this evening. One of the ways to call turkey in is by sounding like a jake fight. And they actually make a call. Quaker Boy made one. They make a call that sounds like jakes fighting. Oh, it's a ruckus, man. You hear that happening in the woods, and first time you ever hear it, you go, what in the world is going on? Then once you learn what it is, you realize that it's a bunch of jakes. It could be for 2 jakes. That was just 2 jakes. They were really fighting. It just upsets me I didn't get that video for y'all, because it's kind of rare to see that. The first time I've seen it here at the house, but they were getting it on. This is definitely not the time of the year that they're breeding, so I really shouldn't have been doing that. And there was a bunch of birds come in there. There was a bunch of them there. There's still about half a dozen out there, maybe 5 or 6. But that's really cool. What do we got here? Big giant buck squirrel. Everybody's got squirrels in their yards. Enjoy watching them. He's working on those little acorns. Those little small acorns are really tasty. The deer love them too. It's just chasing each other down there again. Still had deer in the prayer circle. Little fat girl over there going in the building. Getting her drink of water after eating all that grass. Spectacular in the evening here at the Eagle. You never know what you're gonna see or where you're gonna see it. But that was pretty nice watching those turkeys fight. Tried to share it with you guys, I just forgot to hit the button. Lord, I apologize for that. Well, it appears that the gobblers, all those jakes, ran off and found a bunch of girls, brought them up here, and said there's plenty of food to eat at Jimmy's house. Plenty of good ryegrass growing in the prayer circle. Yeah. I guess, we might have the pews filled up at church if we put candy bars or popcorn or hot dogs or something in the seats. Be like the turkeys. They'd all show up to eat all that ryegrass that's planted out there in the prayer circle. We'd all show up to eat all that popcorn and hot dogs that was in the pews. It might not be a bad idea to think of y'all. Well, think of some of y'all churches. Got to not filling your church up. Put some goodies there in the seats. And the visitor's card, you could put candy bars in there. Yep. Where you put the pins from to fill out your visitor's card, you can put licorice sticks. We may have a new way to get more people into church. That girl out there just snipping the grass down in her little home. There's turkeys everywhere. I mean, just as far as you can scan. All the way over to the feeder, more and more coming up all the time. Of course, this time of the year, the turkeys get together, they bunch up. Gobblers bunch up together, hens bunch up together, jakes bunch up with the hens, but they'll bunch up together as well. But the jakes will stay together. Oh yeah, feeling good. Feeling good. That's a little jake right there, I believe. Right there, the front one. Jakes are beginning to get larger than the hens now. They were all about the same size for a while, but the jakes, of course, are growing. Quite a few jakes in that bunch of babies out there. Only a couple, 2 or 3 hens. Just absolutely fantastic when you're looking at them. Them jakes are wanting to fight. They were duking it out early. Pretty good. That's a wad of them. Too many to even bother about counting. I think I'll just let them enjoy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Well, I know some are behind the post and stuff, but I'll run up to 19, so there's over 20 there. Little jake right there. See his tail feathers beginning to grow out a little bit. It's got little bitty nubbin sticking out for a beard. It's a jake right there. Quite a few jakes out there. Those bigger ones are all the jakes. There's quite a few of them out there. Pretty spectacular there, boys and girls. Pretty spectacular. Chris and I are back home after, look at that buck. You look at that buck. That gorgeous or what? We're back home after 3 or 4 days at the Ranger Advantage Tour 2026. Ranger Advantage Tour, where they introduced all the 2026 model Ranger boats and aluminum boats and pontoon boats and 521Rs like I run. And it just absolutely had a great time over there. We went through the factory tour. If you ever are anywhere near Flippin, Arkansas, I'd advise you to go through that factory tour and see how the greatest bass boat in the world is built. You'll understand why it is the greatest bass boat in the world. But it's amazing to go through that. It had been years since Chris had gone through it, so she got to go through it again. I took Chris with me for those 3 days. It was a long, hard 3 days for her, and plus it's 400 miles over there, so it's a pretty good trip. And we drove over there and had a great time. And for 3 days, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we're back here at the ranch, and my turkeys have seemed like that flock is growing. I believe as more turkeys get together for the wintertime. I don't know how many birds are in that flock, but it's a pretty good bunch of birds. And we will be doing some interesting stuff here today on the ranch. We've got some shark boats coming. We're going to be checking the water quality. We're going to have a jake fight. Oh, my gosh, look at them get after it. They're all going to jump up there. And when you hear that in the woods, it's awesome sound. If I was standing out, I'd walk outside, but that would scare them and they'd all run off. But the jakes are getting in there and having a big battle right there. They're all ganging up on one, looks like. He's fighting back big time. And they're just carrying on. A lot of noise going on right there. When you hear that happening, you know you got a bunch of jakes around close by. And that's where they learn to fight when they're babies. When they're young like that. All those are pretty much young birds. There's 2 or 3 mama hens out there, but that's about it. We had a great hatch here. You see that gobbler's got some red. His red's coming up to his head as his blood flows up to his head like they do when they're running in the springtime. But that's a great way. Welcome back home. Extremely great welcome back home. They run up under the deck. They're getting after it. They're getting after it. They want to fight. Now they're all back to eating, which is the main thing they really want to do. We did get 1/10 of an inch of rain last night. There was considerable rain in places in Oklahoma. We do have more rain scheduled for today and tomorrow. So that's pretty cool. We definitely need it. We've only had 1.1 inch during the entire month of October. So we're about to use this month up. So certainly would have to get a little bit in here the next 2 or 3 days, which we are promised. We'll see what happens. Some nice thunderstorms running around last night, but they seem to skirt the Eagle. And we end up getting 1/10 of an inch, which is not very much. But what a great way to start. The lake is beautiful. We'll be out on that lake today running a shock boat. We'll probably put some of that on Jimmy Houston Outdoors television show in maybe a segment along with a fishing segment, some of the shocking and research that goes on here. We're going to shock the Eagle and also shock Big Canyon Lake. So it's in the 60s today, supposed to rain. We're going to kind of dodge the thunderstorms, hopefully get the shocking done and do a little study and see how healthy our bass are. I'm telling you, they're healthy. As you can see, the turkeys quickly abandoned the rye that I overseeded in the front yard for the Texas Hunter feeder full of South Fresh deer food. It goes off 3 times, 4 times a day. And they're all gathered around out there now. There's a nice big buck out there with him. I don't know exactly where he is. He was right in there. Same buck, I imagine, that was around front. Big, beautiful buck. The rut is beginning. It's not much into it, but there's a big bunch of turkeys out there. Beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. It doesn't take them bunch of turkeys long to clear up all the feed that thing throws out in 8 or 10 seconds. And I think we got it set about 6 or 8 seconds, something like that. I'm not real sure. We kind of change it around a little bit depending on how many animals are around. And they've got a lot to eat on the ranch. We plant about 100 acres of food plots as well as the feeders that we have. And of course, deer season is here. So some of the kids are hunting. I'm going to try to go out and stay in the stand a little bit sometime pretty quickly and just shoot some video. I might take a rifle in case some pigs or coyotes come by. I probably will not deer hunt at all. Just to simply go out and watch. I just get a big thrill out of that anymore. It's more fun to me than actually going out and killing the deer. But the kids and Sherry and Jack and the grandkids, they all love to hunt. And there's that big, beautiful buck right out there. I knew he was out there somewhere. I saw him back in behind a tree. And season is on right now. Bow season is on. Muzzleloading season probably happening as well. And so it's a pretty exciting time of the year. I love this time of the year. I love every time of the year. I love every day. Every day is a great day for me. And so glad to be back on the ranch after spending time at the Ranger Advantage Tour. Learned a little bit more about Ranger boats. 2 absolutely gorgeous bucks out there this morning. Beauties, both of them. We had some rain last night. Never did rain till it got dark, but we got about 1 inch, which is good since we've only had about 1 inch all of September and October. We're getting close to the end of October, so we are thankful of what little rain we had. Some places in Oklahoma got 2 or 3 or 4 inches, so a lot of places were very, very blessed. We are thankful for the inch that we got. And look at those 2 guys. Look at them. Aren't they gorgeous? Just absolutely beautiful. Enjoying these cooler nights. Nights down around 60 degrees. Actually, the day today is going to be in the 60s also until the sun pops out sometime later today. And it might not pop out. If it doesn't pop out, probably going to stay in the 60s. And in the 70s if it does pop out. So that's really, really nice. We are about to finally lose a lot of the green grass. There is rye growing out there. That rye is what those deer are working on. They're really enjoying it. But it's just a pretty sight out there this morning. A lot of guys sitting in deer stands right now with a bow in their hand, or maybe a muzzle loader, maybe a rifle. would love to see that sight right there. That's what they're sitting out there for. And fortunately, I get to see sights like that almost every day. Not every day, but almost every day. That's absolutely gorgeous. Both of those bucks are nice trophy bucks. Big fat boys. Lots of antlers on their heads. Filling their belly up. What a way. What a way to start the day. Magical time of the year, without a doubt. There's magic in every day. All we need to do is just accept it and look for it. Oh, look at that. Look how white he is. Isn't he beautiful? Oh, man, what a buck. Definitely gorgeous. Look at him. Look at that. I love the way they walk. Look at him. Walk like they own the world. You pretty much do. They don't really have a lot of responsibility. No house payments, no car payments, no babies to feed. Biggest job the next month or so will be making more babies that look just like them. God is good. Yes, he is. Wow.